The dark secret my mother hid under the floorboards. My dad committed my mom to a psychiatric ward, claiming she'd completely lost her mind. But he moved his so-called assistant, Sylvia, into our house exactly 2 days later. I was 15, and I knew Mom wasn't crazy. She had just started asking too many questions about Dad's business. But overnight, Sylvia took over. She threw out Mom's clothes, redecorated the entire living room, and told me I needed to start calling her Mom. When I refused, Dad cut off my allowance and grounded me for a whole month. That's when Sylvia really showed her true colors. Whenever Dad wasn't around, she'd stand in my doorway, just watching me. She'd whisper things like, "You're next, you know," with this sick, twisted smile on her face. If I tried to lock my door, she'd just pick the lock. I was completely terrified. But I had a secret. A night nurse at Mom's facility took pity on me. I'd slip her notes outside the local grocery store, and she'd pass them to Mom. It was the only thing keeping me sane. One day, Sylvia crossed the line. She grabbed my arm so hard she left deep bruises, hissing that if I ever told Dad, she'd make sure I got locked up right next to my crazy mother. I wrote to Mom that night, pouring out every awful detail, tears soaking the paper. It took 2 weeks to get a reply. When the nurse finally handed me a folded napkin, my heart raced. The note didn't offer comforter. It just said, "Check a loose floorboard under my sewing machine. Hurry." I waited until Friday night when Dad and Sylvia went out for fancy dinner. My hands were shaking uncontrollably as I pried up the heavy oak board in Mom's old craft room. Underneath, I found a small digital recorder. I pressed play. It was Dad and Sylvia, talking in hushed voices, laughing about how the pills they were slipping into Mom's tea were working perfectly. They had intentionally poisoned her. My blood turned to ice. But before I could even process the horror, I heard the heavy front door click open downstairs. They were back early. Mom thought she replaced my dad with her creepy BF. She didn't know I still talked to him.